What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the other side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest of cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shan Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
Chris Abacon.
What's going on, everybody?
And Daniel Acevedo.
Let's go. The best 4-pack of cybersecurity at it again.
That's right.
The 4-pack. What's going on, y'all? So definitely continue to tune in throughout the week. So Monday, Tuesday, our topics, Wednesday discussion. Thursdays, Ask a CISSP. I did a really good one with Lynn Dom from WESIS. And in that conversation, we talked about the origins of the organization, what it's currently doing in its initiatives for women in cyber, and then its future plan, right? We talked about the next 5 years as well. So definitely check that one out. I have 2 more that I recorded that are still being edited. So I have some more for 2025 coming up. In short order. And then Fridays, just like this episode, everything else, movies, games, all that good stuff. So not a lot of cyber to be had, but a lot of fun instead, right? So we got to unwind sometimes. So without further ado, how was your week, Shannon?
It was great. It was awesome. So like flock around and find out, right? The Ravens, right? Look, we had a great Christmas. I got to see the Steelers lose, and I got to see us demolish the Texans. Gave them the 2 points they got. 31-2 is what we beat them. So like, It's whatever, right? Like, wow. If we see y'all get in the playoffs, you're going to get a lot more of that. I just want to put it out there, right? So, but no, it was a great Christmas. My mother-in-law was in town. My sister-in-law came over. My oldest daughter came over. So we had a good time, had a good meal, just enjoying the company. What else been doing? So watched a couple of things. So my wife and I, we've been rewatching Modern Family. Like we'd never finished the series. So started watching that hilarious show. We started watching Botched. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Botched.
Yeah.
These 2 doctors
I've seen a couple,
medical stuff. I'm going to tell you something, man. We as humans, we are very vain. Like we are doing stuff to our bodies. It's just like, why would you do that? Why would you think that was worth it? Like
they just turn themselves into cats.
It's crazy. Or they're going to Mexico for surgeries that are like 20% of what it would cost in America. Like, yeah, I paid $500 to get breast implants. So it's like you should have known that wasn't good, right? Like it wasn't going to end well, and it didn't. So now you got to go to these guys.
Hey man, if my hairline goes back here, I'm flying to Turkey, guys. I'm going to Turkey.
Yes,
I'm telling you.
Turkey has cornered the market on hair transplants.
I'm
man.
down.
Really?
Like, yeah, man. Because Bosley here in the U.S. is like you're talking like 15 G's, right, for getting a hair transplant. You can get for like a plane ticket and then the whole stay. It's like it's a fraction of that price if you go to Turkey and do it.
Fly up to Istanbul and get hooked up.
Absolutely, and then they'll like put you in a hotel and all that, food included.
But they're good at what they do, right?
Yeah.
So like they say, if you want to have an amazing plastic surgery, you go to South Korea, or you go to the Philippines.
Yep, South Korea.
If you want to have an amazing hair transplant, you go to Turkey. Like these people are going to places that aren't known. It's like going to a diner asking for Chinese food. You know what I mean? It's like you went there for something that they don't really specialize on the menu.
Imagine being a TSA agent looking at somebody's passport, Korea, Turkey, and then you look at the person like, oh yeah, this guy's perfect. This guy's absolutely perfect.
He's globe-trotting for perfection.
Yeah,
like they're going to the wrong places for this stuff.
Yep.
But the places you're talking about, like they're not doing it like they are in Mexico, right? Like you go to somebody's house in Mexico, they tie you to a bed. They're like, take this handful of pills. You take the handful of pills, you're out. The next day you wake up and you're like, man, I'm in so much pain. You know what I mean? Like that's not what they're doing. That's not what they're doing in Turkey and South Korea. Like, South Korea is not a third world.
You got butt implants and missing your kidneys.
Yeah. If I took stuff out.
But it's amazing some of the stuff these people have done to themselves. And some of them are like they're born with a deformity or something that they want to get fixed. And these guys are very good at what they do. Like, again, if they mess one up, they're not putting it on the show, right? So I'm not saying they haven't messed anything up. But everything they put on the show, I'm like, man, they're pretty good.
They're starting to look weird. Also, though, as they get older, you can tell that they're also getting stuff done.
I'd have to look at pictures of them.
They're starting to look kind of cat-like, too. Like that, for whatever reason, that's what we evolve into when we get surgery. Turn into cats. I don't know. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. So we've been watching that. Also watched this series on Netflix called Mr. McMahon. So Vince McMahon from UE, right?
What's that meme? He's like,
what's that?
The meme of him just like almost crying.
Oh yeah.
But it was an interesting documentary. So when they started filming it, it was before his last stint stepping away from the company, right? With the whole sexual assault stuff and all of that. So when they got to the last episode, and they put a thing up there before every episode saying the majority of these interviews were done before, the information about the assaults came out on this date or whatever. But in the final episode, like, is when it got to that point. Like, it got to that, and then he just stopped doing interviews. Like, he stopped sitting down with them and talking and whatnot. But it was an interesting take on things. Like, there was stuff like, I used to watch wrestling when I was younger, as we probably all did.
Yeah.
Me too. But there was stuff I was like,
love wrestling. Loved it growing up. Amazing.
Yeah. But there was stuff I was like, I don't remember that going down that way. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, he pretty much was cornering the market. Like, I remember they bought WCW, but then it was other stuff that happened that was going on.
AEW, there was a bunch of other ones.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I was like, oh, that's interesting. But it was 6 episodes. It's an interesting watch. Like, if you were into wrestling at some point and whatnot and going through stuff. Yeah, McMahon's kind of a dirtbag for sure.
Side note, it's funny, produced that Bill Simmons. So
yes.
he has he's huge podcast, sports podcast guy. So he used to do he's the one that started the 30 for 30s also, ESPN. So that's why it's probably really good.
Bill Simmons puts out good material, but I can't watch him like talk about sports though, because the reason I say this is because he hates LeBron so much. And I think it's because he gave it to the Celtics all the time. So, like, to him, like, the best players ever were always Celtics. And it's like, dude, you're being
he's very partial to this. He's a Boston guy. He's like very partial to the Celtics.
Yeah. So like, I can't watch him whenever he does his podcast on sports or anything like that. I'm like, you're being dumb. He's like, oh, LeBron's just not a good player. I'm like, really? I'm like, he's top 3 in like every major category you can think of, right?
All
like,
time. Yeah.
Come on, dude. Just say you don't like him because he gave Boston the business every chance he had. Just say it. You know what I mean? Be honest. Be an honest broker here. But no, the stuff that he produces a lot of like sports documentaries and like you said,
really good stuff. Yep.
Yeah, he
They're
does.
very good always.
He's very good at producing that. He's raking in the dough. But that was pretty much it for me. So yeah, flock around and find out. Like, and I'm gonna put this out there for everybody, right? So we may come across it to where we may see Buffalo again in the playoffs. So y'all, if I'm not on the podcast after that, if we end up winning, it was Ryan, right? Like, this is like those spouses that say, if I end up dead, and you don't see me again, Ryan is the prime suspect. So if you don't see me on here, if we beat Buffalo again, it's Ryan. Okay, I'm just putting it out there.
No, I'm gonna need y'all to get eliminated by somebody else. I don't want to smoke. I don't want a hard path to the Super Bowl. Like, people were like, oh, it's about like them clinching this and defeating that. And like, no, I want players on the other team to be sick that day. I want a Super Bowl in my lifetime. I want a Super Bowl in my lifetime. I don't care how easy the path was. It has not been easy. These last 2 games though should be a cakewalk. But
so everybody that's in the AFC playoffs, we have played them. We've beaten everybody except for Kansas City.
Yeah. And I'm hoping your time is up. Get them out of here. I want the easiest path. I want them to be like, we should put an asterisk on this. I'm like, I don't care.
I wouldn't worry too much about it because we tend to forget ourselves when the playoffs start. It's like we don't know what got us here, and we're just doing
right. Like we're not running the ball no more.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
Like, what? Talking about. But Chris, moving on. Chris, how was your week, man? I know you had a pretty adventurous week. You had a good time.
It was pretty awesome, actually. We got to spend some of the holidays at Disney World. It was actually my first time going, but we ended up seeing all 4 parks, right?
Yeah.
And, I lived in Florida. How long?
All 4?
All 4, yeah. We saw all 4.
The part that got me was that you've never been, and I know you've been in Florida for a while, man.
Exactly. Like, it's funny. I've been in Florida almost 10 years, right? But I've never been, right? I've been to Universal a few times, just never got around to doing Disney, just because like I wanted to give it the love it needs, right? There's 4 parks, it's huge, but it was a good time. I adult going. I'm biased. I think Epcot's the best park. It's got all the countries. It's got all the different types of food. It's got all the different types of drinks.
Around the world, yeah.
Man. And the rides are awesome. I don't know if you've been there recently, Ryan, but that Guardians of the Galaxy ride.
Yeah, it was the best ride I rode in my entire trip this time. I was like, man, we should do this one last.
I mean,
now...
but they have this thing where you have to do something called like a virtual queue, right? You don't. And what you do is you get on the queue. The trick is you have to have the app and you have to get on the queue at 7 a.m. You got to wake up because that queue, there's a bunch of Disney fanatics out there that do the same thing. The queue like builds up. So then if it does build up right to a certain point, they're going to get to a point where, you cannot get on the queue again until 1 p.m. So you got a bunch of people at 1 p.m. doing the same thing going, right? But the thing is, it's such a popular ride, right? And obviously, only so many people can go through. So yeah, it was. I'll tell you, it's freaking awesome. But it was good because I went on a Friday before the holiday weekend. So it went. We went on Friday and went we did 4 days until that Monday, right? That weekend was crazy, right? But we went on Friday. It wasn't too bad. Like some of the rides didn't have long queues, like 20 minutes. Even like Ratatouille and Frozen had like 20-minute waits in the morning. So I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. Morning is the way to go, right? If you want to check out the rides. But really, I think just from the repeatability standpoint, I think Epcot is number 1. Number 2, Animal Kingdom. Number 3, Magic Kingdom, which is like the classic Disney. It's more kid oriented. You got the rides that are like, little cutesy rides. It's cool. It's kind of nostalgic. And then Hollywood Studios 4th, just because I think Hollywood Studios, as cool as it was, I wasn't a fan of the Star Wars thing. It was just like, it was too bland. There's nothing there. There's no original trilogy characters. No Darth Vader. I'm like, how is there a world of Star Wars without Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader? There's no C-3PO or R2-D2 running around. I'm like, what is going on? I was kind of mad. I'm like, what is this crap? Right? So, but hope they, there's no Baby Yoda in there either. Right? And that's Disney. No Baby Yoda. Like, how are they not capitalizing
I think they're
on the Mandalorian
up.
and that? Like, they haven't even put that in I don't know. I just think there's some mismanagement there.
Yeah, I think they're catching up. Like a lot of new IPs popped up since then. Because I was waiting for Tron for like 4 years, right?
Yeah.
So Tron is finally done, and I was so pumped. So we went to Guardians of the Galaxy first, which I didn't even know was built, and I was like, man, that was amazing.
Yeah, it was
Tron,
crazy.
and Tron was fun. Tron was super short though,
It
because it was so fast,
Yeah.
right? So I was like, dang, we should have did the other order.
Yeah.
Because now I'm disappointed by Tron because of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. That's why I feel like Hollywood Studios is just like a inferior version of Universal Studios. In Universal, if you want to do Hollywood Studios, just go to Universal. You got better rides overall. You got like the Hulk at Universal is unreal.
Right.
That's it's sick.
And they've got the new. I can't get on anymore, man. You turn 40, like it just hurts.
Yeah, it's just, but they launch you so fast. It's sick. It's like literally like the Hulk throwing you somewhere. Yeah. It's
he makes that noise.
Awesome.
Go.
Yeah,
and then
I was still in Florida when they opened that ride, and I thought it was an amazing one, right? Because like I did not expect it to take off that fast right from the beginning.
Yeah, it was just like, you're just like everybody's strapped up, and it's like, oh.
Yeah,
that was a good ride.
But in May next year, right? Epic Universe opens up. Right, so that's gonna be cool. It's gonna have the dark world, so like a horror theme all year round, which is freaking awesome. A horror theme year round. They're gonna have the How to Train Your Dragon. It's gonna be cool. Of course, Super Nintendo World, which is already. I don't know if you've been to Universal Studios in Japan, Daniel.
I haven't yet. My wife went with my kid, and I was like, when I couldn't go with them, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Oh man. And then there's the Harry Potter, then another Harry Potter park where they have the New York, right? The New World and the Ministry of Magic version in New York, and then they've got the Ministry of Magic in that scene with the green fire, the green fire and the fireplaces. They're gonna have that in the world, so it's gonna be wild, man. It's gonna be awesome.
So they had that in the California one, and we liked it a lot.
Really?
They have a Harry Potter thing in Florida, in California. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I've been to the ones in Universal Studios, the OG ones, but the new one, that should be a lot of fun, right? So that should be awesome. But yeah, that's my kind of rankings on theme parks. I've been like, dang, theme parks are fun. I was looking at annual passes, and for Florida residents, you can get like a pixie dust pass or whatever it is. So you can only go during the weekday, right? No weekends, no blackout dates. Yeah. But it's like $400, $500. But if you can pull it off, then cool. But then there's different levels of passes. Like the best pass you can get is like $1,500 a person. Like, dang!
So I think, like in hindsight, I think you and your wife could pull it off, right? Like for us, it's because we have to, like the blackout times are from when the kids are out of school. Mm-hmm. So that's our most ideal time to go would be during blackout days.
Makes no sense.
So so you may be able to pull it off, but we're paying twice that per person.
It's crazy, but it's really cool. But comparatively speaking, like Universal's annual passes are like a fraction of the price of Disney's, just because obviously you don't get 4 parks, you get the 2, then plus 1 eventually with the Epic Universe. But it's funny with the Epic universe, you are not even going to be able to. Your annual pass does not apply to the new park. They need to get that. They I think I was watching a video.
Money.
They got to rake that money in, and they open in May, so they know they're gonna be booked solid for the rest of the year.
Bet. And I think they spent like $2 to $3 billion on that Universal. So they're like, no annual passes, baby. You're coming in $100 Yo,
on purpose.
They invested.
Wow,
it's crazy.
Brand new park,
hotels,
brand new everything.
An amusement park is gonna make that. Like they're gonna make
that
quickly, right?
But that's what they're saying. Hey, no annual pass benefits here, baby. You got to pay $120 a day, baby, to come in a day. So yeah, that's been fun. But on the TV side of the house, started watching Lost. Have you guys seen Lost?
No. Yeah, it's too far gone. I just passed it.
It's so far gone. But I started watching it and I'm like, it's not bad. I'm like, I guess that's why the hype was there back in the day. But there's some tropes that I kind of predicted would happen. I'm like, that's why people didn't like the ending. Right?
What I remember though, as it went on, people liked it less, right? Like when it first started, people were like, "Oh, this is awesome," and then as it goes on, they're like,
and then I think, no spoilers, but as you go on, some of the tropes become too tropey. That's all I'll say.
I was gonna say they invented the tropes. Though.
You say no spoilers, but they've been off the air for like 10 years. Like
exactly.
And like if you don't know by now, like you're not gonna spoil
honestly it's almost 15 years they've been off the air.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah.
I remember starting watching the show, and it's funny. Like the first season, you see people have flip phones, and it's like, damn. Yeah, so that's on the TV end, and then other than that, enjoying the holidays, right? Vikings are doing well. Like again, I want an easy path to the playoffs, but it's not going to be easy. NFC is crazy. I mean, every team, even I'll say here, sleeper pick for that can really do damage in the playoffs is the Rams, right? The Rams are just like they're 9-6, but I'm like, dude, a Rams team, they can beat anybody in the NFC. They can win the Super Bowl, and I think the Rams are very dangerous if they're healthy.
Here's the thing with the Rams. They've been starting slow. So like until what was it, 3 weeks ago, whatever, they put the 44 points up, right?
Yeah.
Like, against the Bills, right? Was it the Bills?
Yeah. Beat us by 2 points or whatever. It was like 42-44. Yeah.
Like since
I saw that game and I said, "Holy crap, the Rams could win the Super Bowl."
But they don't start fast like that anymore. Like they're starting slow. Like when you get into the playoffs, everybody is good. If they start slow against the teams they're going to see in the NFC, they're not going to be able to catch up. It's just not going to happen.
That's true.
We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. See. Like this season has been pretty good. Like the teams that are bad are really bad, and teams that are good are really good. There's no real in between.
Yeah. So and you got it's crazy. Yeah. But enough about me. Daniel, how's your week?
I was good. Just the Christmas stuff, My mother-in-law came over. Some of the aunts, they stayed. We opened up a bunch of gifts for my kid on Christmas. I think it's like the first Christmas now that she's 4 that she can like really understand what's going on. So I think she was expecting one gift, but my family spoiled her. They sent a bunch of gifts. So she was like, I get all these gifts. And then she's just going crazy and she's really happy. Ate some good food. But besides that, nothing really crazy, just it's the first time in Christmas that I'm not working for the government or working in a company that has a break from the government.
Okay.
So as I have had like no days off. So I was like, man, this sucks. I was like, this is how normal people do it. I don't think I like this that much.
Right.
But I think if that's the only complaint I have from coming over here and living in Japan and like being around her family and all the benefits that I have, I'll take it happily. I don't know, just enjoying life. Media wise, I don't think we really got into that much. My wife's further along now, so she gets tired really easy. So she goes to sleep real early. So it's just like I'm by myself, and I'm like, I might as well go to sleep early too because I got to wake up at like 5 or 6 to go to work. So not a lot of media, maybe a little bit of anime here or there. And Jake Paul found out I was going to turn 67 next week, so he challenged me to fight. It's got a bandage only. That's about. I came out pretty okay, I guess. Now I was playing with my kid for the people that can actually watch this. I've had this bandage on all week because I was twirling her around and the thing I was using to twirl her around slipped and smacked me in my nose, and I split open my nose. But luckily, it was deep, and I furiously got on my phone and Googled like, how do I not get a scar? And I followed it, and within 2 days, like it like fused back together. There was like a flap of skin, and part of me was like, should I cut it off or should I leave it on? Yeah, I was really glad I left it on, and I just put the bandage over, and I cleaned it, and I used the triple antibiotic cream and all that stuff, and it's good. It's like the skin's back there. I was like, oh, the body's
So
amazing.
Daniel, it was deep. So like when you were telling us about it, like I just thought it was like a minor cut or whatever. Now you're like, it's deep. So you didn't glue it, you didn't get stitches or
No, I thought I
anything?
did. I thought I had to. Yeah. So it's funny. So my wife left me alone with my daughter too, and everything was going great until that moment. And then she called after it happened, and she's like, "How's everything going?" I was like, "It was going fine, but I kind of like I hit my nose and I bled, and it's it's bothering me." So they came back a little bit earlier, and then I showed it to her, and she's like, "Holy shit!" She thought I was kidding. I was like, "Do you think I was kidding around?" She's like, "No, I thought it was like a scratch or something." I was like,
Yeah,
"Nah."
your nose is barely hanging on. It's like,
I busted myself pretty bad, but I thought I was gonna have to get a stitch because the first day just kept on bleeding. Like I couldn't stop the bleeding. And I was like, "Oh crap, man!" And honestly, I was really dumb. Like in the beginning, I was like, "I think I need to cut this off." I was like trying to like get it off. I was like, "Man," but it was like a big thick piece. So I was like, "I can't get this off easy." They took it a scissor and cut it. That's like that's what I was thinking. Is like, do I cut this off?
So I'll tell you something. Dr. Nassif from Botched, he can help you with that. He does the nose.
I was gonna have to call him because I was like, man, this nose is big enough as it is. If I get a scar on the top of it, it's gonna really suck. So I was like really paranoid. I like got in a bad mood, but yeah, it's all good now, I think.
I wish I had known about it earlier because I would have made fun of you. I had I had this airman. Where was I? Was I in Turkey? I think I was in Turkey, and he knocked out his front teeth. Like we we the way his story and what happened don't match up. But
The guy on the scooter. The guy on the
yeah,
scooter?
the guy on the scooter. Yep,
That's
yep,
right.
yep,
Yeah, I remember you telling me about
yep.
that.
And
Scooter.
oh man, so I was like, you got to FaceTime me. I got to see what's going on because we were on a long weekend. So he FaceTimed me and they were gone. I was like, oh, I was like, I was like, yeah, you definitely have to be seen immediately. Yada yada yada. And then I was like, man, your moneymaker is ruined. And he didn't want to laugh, but he was a handsome guy, right? So I was like,
Yeah.
that's it for you. So if you had told me, I would have been like, oh, as if she's gonna leave you. You're gonna
That's
have no family.
That's what I was wondering. I was such an awkward kid growing up, and then like you could ask all my friends, my family, my friends' family. They're like, you were always like a nice kid, but like you got older, and you just like you look completely different. I was like, thank God, because my mom used to call me the little monster, or I
Jesus.
was Bugs Bunny, I was Baraka from Mortal Kombat.
Oh man.
Dude, I was the gambit. Yeah. People were not nice back then. That wouldn't have happened in this soft 2024. Back then, it was free game in public school. So
Hilarious. Well, I
yeah,
mean, mentally scarring, but
it
hilarious.
made me tougher. And I
Character
get it now.
building.
Yeah, that's what we used to call it back in the day. Not emotionally damaging.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's trauma. Stop. But
That's all I got, Ryan. We gotta let me pass it to you.
yeah, so I didn't have as exciting of a weekend. So I did go to where did we go? I did go to Universal with the family, so that was fun. Not this, but previous weekend. So I never really talked about it, but we went to both. Yeah, so we didn't go to Volcano Bay because it's kind of cold. Florida cold. It's like when you wake up and it's like 55, 60. And then eventually warms up to like high 70s, low 80s, right? That's cold to us. But so we did all of that good stuff. Had a lot of fun there. What did I watch? I watched the Jamie Foxx special that came on Netflix. Uh, Not really stand up. It's like more of a one man type situation. You know, he's doing the comedy, he's telling the story, he's playing instruments. I think it really was just him trying to show that he still has it after the incident. And then he breaks down what happened in the incident, right? So somewhat anticlimactic, but his story is hilarious.
I figured as much. I got to be honest. Like, I was reading articles and they were talking about how he was going to go through it, like with the medical thing and everything. And I was like, this is not going to be everything I thought it was, or he's not going to go into it in as much detail as I would like to hear as for what happened.
Right. He went into some pretty good detail. A lot of embarrassing stories, right? Because all of the function he lost because of it. Because he was really impaired for a minute. That's why we didn't see him. But really, I think he was trying to show like because he does make the joke like people kept saying he was a clone when he came back. So he was really trying to show like it's me as I'm really able to still I'm still capable. And he put a lot of his family in it as well, right? So he's just very appreciative because people are like a lot of people on the internet are giving him a lot of crap because he cries a lot. They say it's a tearjerker. I ain't cry, but he cries a lot. But he's just happy to be alive. Like he
Yeah.
legitimately could be dead or a vegetable right now. So
We know you don't cry, Sonny. NS5. You don't
I
cry.
lost my tear ducts in the war. It's like you said, like back in the day they called it character building. I don't have the
Yep.
ability to cry anymore.
Facts.
I've been scarred. But yeah, so I watched that. It was pretty good. We talked about Aliens. I did see that. What If had its series finale today. So I woke up extra early and watched it.
How is the
Uh,
third season? How is it?
it's the weakest of the three. It doesn't. It's a lot of one-offs until episode 5. There's only like 8 episodes, but then it gets where it needs to be, but you only get it for like 3 episodes. So it's still gorgeous. A lot of the stuff that you feel is going to be one-offs kind of come to a culmination, but not all of it. Like some of it is just like rando episodes where I'm just like, I think they had an idea, and they just wanted to see what it looked like. Like, could this be a spinoff or something like that? So I still enjoyed it. I like the way it ended. But I was like, well, as I was watching, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna tell Shannon when it picks up. It didn't pick up to episode 5. Like 4 has a lot of action, but also it's like this is what's going on is kind of dumb, and then it actually does make sense at the end. But 5 is when it was like, okay, we're back to it. This is the main storyline. I like it.
This is where Marvel's at now, man. Like they're just not putting out good products anymore. It's crazy.
Yeah. And then I watched something else. Was it the movie? I watched Die Hard for Christmas.
Yeah.
Um,
Yippee
my,
ki
Oh,
my
I
wife
do
does
too.
not like Die Hard. She does not like the movie. She was like, it's so
Yippee
boring.
ki And then I won't finish the rest of the word.
But
Why,
I gotta watch
why
it
does she
every
not? Why does
Christmas.
she not like it? Did she say?
Because it's tropey 80s. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
It's
it's
an
just
80s
not.
movie.
Peak cinema.
Guys love that. What's the thing? Us as guys, we love that 80s stuff. Schwarzenegger and Willis and Stallone. Like we are for
love
all
that
of
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. So she watched part of it with me, and then we watched Elf. Obviously, that's a Christmas banger. We watched Home Alone. 1 is better than 2. Forever. Like
Facts. Yeah.
we watched 1 and 2, and it's just like 2 just was not as good as 1. Like I know they're trying to be bigger and over the top, but I was like, 1's just where
They
it's
have
at.
at least a Home Alone 3 with like some different kid. There's a Home Alone 3 out there.
Do they?
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
Awkward.
not.
yeah. It's not part of our rotation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and then I think that's pretty much it for media. I watched a couple anime episodes here and there, but for real, just relaxed. Like kids are getting older, so a lot of their toys don't have to be assembled anymore, right? A lot of them don't need batteries because they're sit on chargers and stuff like that. And then the older two got a lot of cash. Like you just buy whatever you want to buy, and they love that. So, um, but yeah, I had a great holiday break, right? I also didn't take time off, so but the current administration made Christmas Eve a holiday, right? Day off, so I got 2 days off because of that. So I was like, okay, all right, I like that, and I just worked the rest of the days. But because I work for my client is government, a lot of them took vacation, right? So it's not a ton of work during the holidays. So I do appreciate that.
The day after Christmas, I did the same thing. So like I worked it, and the day after Christmas, there were so few people in our facilities. Like I could literally put it on one hand how many people were in our facilities, and I'm just like,
I guess I'm on YouTube all day. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no. I mean, I had stuff to do. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of better, right? Because nobody's walking up to you and asking
Yeah,
you
you get all the
questions.
your admin gets
You can
done.
get your training and all that stuff done.
Right.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was crazy. I was just like, wow, why are there so few people? You know what I mean? Like if you needed assistance with something, like there was nobody to help you. It was all contractors. There was no government presence, like no civil service, no military. It was crazy because they had their family day the day after Christmas. It wasn't Christmas Eve because Christmas Eve was a
Okay.
holiday, right? Because the current administration. So the 26th was their actual family day where they had a day off, and I was just like, wow. So it was wild.
Oh well.
Yeah. So it's a good end to the season. Like we talked about at the beginning. Like I don't really like I stay up for the ball drop, and then I go immediately to sleep. I don't really go out. Like I went out one year. I went out to see the ball drop. I was in I think they call it Amateur Works here in Tampa. I went to Amateur Works one year, and it was nice, but it wasn't really worth the getting in the car and driving back home. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like I'd rather just celebrate at the house than have to get through all of this drunken traffic to get back to my home.
So my wife and I told you how we were watching Modern Family. There was an episode we just watched where a couple of the adults were trying to hang with one of the daughters that just turned 21, and she's like, "Yeah, the band doesn't come on till midnight." They're like, "It doesn't come on until midnight." So there's a part in the episode where they start some music. They're trying to be hip. They start some music. The girl went outside for like 2 minutes to get some wristbands for the club they were in. When she came back in, they were sleeping on the couch. Like the same song was still playing. Like, they were
Oh yeah,
that's crazy. That's where I am.
Yeah. So, but it's a good end to 2024. I'm excited about 2025, right? And all the good stuff, because in our episodes we talk about how 2025 might not be that great because cybersecurity. But for our lives, 2025 is going to be great. We're going to have a good time. Is what I hope. So, but that's pretty much it for me. I don't really have much going on. I just coasting. Like, everything's a 2025 problem. You bring something to me, I'm like,
2025.
That's for next year.
That's right.
So definitely continue to tune in to the episodes. Monday, Tuesday are topics, Wednesday discussion, Thursdays Ask a CISSP, and then Fridays everything else, movies, books, games, all that good stuff. Hit us up by all of the social medias that go by our name, the other side of the firewall, the other side of the FW, or Ask a CISSP. You give me a person, I'm at RY Security Guy. That's RY Security Guy. You can find me pretty much on all of the platforms, but LinkedIn is my bread and butter. And where can they find you, Chris?
You can find me on LinkedIn under Chris Abacon. Last name spelled A Bacon.
And you, Daniel?
On LinkedIn under my name, Daniel Acevedo.
There it is. Stay safe. Stay secure.